Brother and lads, welcome back to Cossy podcast. My name is Cossy. We are back again with another Mikel Arteta press conference reaction. We're going to be looking at what Mikel Arteta said about the acquisition of new players in January, because he was asked about that based on the fact that we lack some attacking prowess. We lack a lot of attacking prowess. Like I said in the previous videos, we've only scored 17 goals this season. We've scored less goals than Brentford, less goals than Crystal Palace, less goals. We've actually done a very, very poor job in terms of scoring goals. But of course, also the uncertainty that comes with players, trying to leave, and players, that could be leaving the club, maybe in the summer, maybe in January. So what does Mikel Arteta have to say about our next signings? That is what we're going to be looking at. Ramsdale has had some comments as well, and Thomas Partey has also had some comments on his performance. So make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. I want to thank everybody who's always been on this channel. Thank you everybody for doing that. It really means a lot. But make sure you check out the Arsenal Arena as well. I'll be putting a lot of Arsenal content on the Arsenal Arena as well, predicted lineups and things like that. So make sure you subscribe to the Arsenal Arena. It's my second channel. I mean, just check it out. You will see a lot of good content there as well. So Thomas Partey has been talking to the media about his what he feels about his performance, basically in ever since he joined the Premier League and Arsenal, and how he does rate it. And according to Sky, this is what he told them. I give myself 4 out of 10 because there are moments I really had the opponent, the other team, but there are other moments where I allow myself to lose focus, and that's when everything goes down. This is really when you realize that you're not that you have to get that you have to get better. So that's according to Thomas Partey. He also said that from the start of the Manchester United game, I had a couple of moments where I gave the ball away, and someone watching on TV from home or in the stadium, it's normal that they see this. Partey added. He also said that at the end, I was happy with some moments. I have to learn from the bad parts and try to do better. I think they demanded more, and personally, I know I can give more. I have to keep working, and at the end, I will get the results there. And said from the defense to the attack, I can help the team a lot. Partey said to Sky Sport. And then he said, I have to read more of the game. Now I am having a lot of continuous games. It is normal that some games or some moments in the games I will be down. With more games, with more confidence, I will be able to get where I want to be. Look, I mean, brilliant comments from Thomas Partey. A very brilliant appraiser. Actually, if you ask me how many players have I had giving very, very crucial and brutal appraisers to themselves, they're not really very many. They're not so many. They're not so many players out there that are willing to say, look, I'm not really performing well. I'm not performing at the level I should be performing at. I need to do better. There are not many players that are willing to do that. But of course, I'm gonna say this: Thomas Partey has been so inconsistent ever since he joined Arsenal. Last season, there are so many excuses that we gave. New to the Premier League, injury prone, and things like that. But this season again, one of he is one of our senior players. He's one of those players that should be performing consistently, at a top level. And at the moment, he's actually not doing that. And I know, as a player, he knows, having signed for almost £45 million, from Atletico Madrid, he's very close to the top earners at the side. Actually, he's one of the top earners in the side, and he's also one of those players that we look at as Arsenal Football Club. He has the experience. He's 28, has experience. The whole team has to be driven around Thomas Partey and the likes of Aubameyang. And all the criticism coming in from the fans and things like that, he knows he's got to do better. And at this point in time, there is no way I can start defending Thomas Partey. No way. Last season, yes, I could. But this season, really inconsistent. Very, very inconsistent. I think players like Albert Lokonga, players like Mohamed El Neni, they've got to draw confidence from him, and he knows that. They've got to draw confidence from him. They've got to perform at a high level, a bar set by Thomas Partey. It's not happening at the moment. Absolutely, it's not happening. And of course, what I can't say is Partey is finished. I can't say that, but I'm gonna say he's been very, very inconsistent. Had a very poor game against Newcastle. Many people did notice that. He ran away with it because Lokonga had a very, very good game. And when he played against Manchester United with Mohamed El Neni had a very, very poor game. Partey had a very inconsistent game, like he said it. That is when everybody said, you know what? Partey has had a very, very bad game. But again, I'm going to say one or two things with Thomas Partey. We don't need to be very hard on him. I think he's playing in a team full of youngsters. He's not getting enough support, the support he needs. Of course, imagine if he was playing next to Xhaka, and maybe that's one of the good things that Xhaka provides, with us as a team. That company to Thomas Partey and the solidarity they make or they get in the midfield. But for me, again, the appraisals given himself in his interview is very realistic. He's not really performing well. He's got to do better than that, right? Very, very much. He's got to do better than that. And he says it very well that I know I can do better than that. I know I can provide better than that to the team and to everyone. I just need to get get back on form and do things like that, in a very, very appropriate way. And I don't think he is wrong. He is absolutely right. He just needs to get his, his moments back. He just needs to get his form back, because he's a very talented player. Very talented player. And if you look at the midfielders or midfields in the Premier League, there is nowhere Thomas Partey doesn't play. Nowhere. But for me, his performances have been absolutely questionable. Very, very questionable. But anyway, let's move on to Mikel Arteta's press conference, lads. The comments he made on transfers and the Goodson Park and Everton and a couple of things like that. So we're going to be trying to look at what exactly the manager said in his encounter with the media. Really interesting, because again, now it's another game where we have to bounce back. You know that it's another game we have to bounce back. But this is what he said on Everton. On returning to Everton, he said they are a team that wants to put things right and win on Monday night at Goodson. I know what I'm going to expect under the lights with the fans. They have, so it will be a tough game. He said there are a lot of teams that are going through poor form. But this is a league that has become very competitive. That the moment you lose a game or two, the pressure is coming to you, is coming your way every day. And it says it's not different there. Obviously, it's a very special place to go. To go back there, because I had some amazing years there. So I'm looking forward to it. Right? Look. I think going to Everton, and Mikel will know this. Going to Everton at the moment is going to be the hardest, one of the hardest games in our season, right? It's going to be really important. It's going to be really, really important. And I think that is what actually makes it very, very hard, right? Because it's an important game. At the moment, we are 7th on the table, right? 7th on the table. It all looks like Arsenal has to win this game. It's a must win. The moment we get a draw, the moment we fail to win, it's not in our favor, right? We can't afford to make a mistake. We can't afford to let anything go wrong in that game. But again, the question is, how do you do that? That's the big question. How do you do that? Everton at the moment are struggling, right? We've been there. When you're struggling, they have collected 1 point in 7 games, right? And I don't know how Rafa Benitez is not sacked yet. Honestly, I don't know how Rafa still has a job. I don't know how Rafa is not sacked yet. But I'm going to say he's so lucky. Absolutely very, very lucky that until up to this point in time, he's not sacked. Up to this point in time, he still has a job. A job. But I don't want to dive into that. So Mikel says he knows what to expect against Everton. For me, what to expect about Everton against Everton is a side that is going to be pushing harder and harder not to lose their next game. If you've not won a game in your last seven, right? You're pushing harder that you don't lose a game. It happened with Manchester United. They had gone a long time without winning, comfortably, and then they come against Chelsea, and they put in such a performance. They come in against Arsenal, and then those are two big games in a row. They won one and drew one. They got 4 points out of those 6 points, right? And now they have 7 points out of the possible 9. So it's the same thing with Everton. I saw them against Liverpool. I think Liverpool were just too good. That was the difference in that game. Liverpool were just too good. Liverpool were just, they overpowered. I mean, that's the word. They overpowered Everton. Because again, I looked at an Everton side that was trying to come back in that game. They pulled one back. He thought that was maybe the moment. That was the moment where they were... maybe that was that was the moment where they were going to bounce back, but then they just failed, right? Because I think Demarai Gray pulls one back. It's 2-1. They strike. They start getting the momentum, gaining some momentum in the game, and then they threw it all away. That's the problem with with playing clubs like Liverpool. So when they come against Arsenal, they will feel they're playing a side almost at the same level as they are. That's a good thing for us, and that's a very, very bad thing for us. One, they will try not to lose the game. And we know they have very important players there, very, very good players that can influence the game. You have Demarai Gray there, you have Townsend there, you have look, I don't know whoever is in form these days at Everton. I could name the whole squad. Maybe Richarlison as well. Maybe Richarlison. The injury of Calvert-Lewin really affected them. But it's a game where we got there very, very. We've got to be more than cautious. I don't know what the word is, but we've got to be more than cautious. It's gonna be very, very difficult game. Very difficult game. But of course, I know Mikel will do the right thing. I mean, I really, really do trust him to do the right thing. I just need to pick up some comments here on what he said about going back to Everton. He said it's not different. Obviously, it's a very, very special place to go back there because I had some amazing years there. So I'm looking forward to it. Look, I don't feel, because look, yes, I mean the fans are back and they know Mikel. He performed at the top level there before we signed him at Arsenal. But I don't feel like that is going to be a game changer, a game decider. I think what's going to be a game decider in this game is the hunger between the two teams. We'll speak about this in the preview in the coming hours. The hunger between the two teams. Who is hungrier? Who wants to win this game better? I think that is that is the difference. That is what will cause the difference. Who is hungrier? We are hungry because we need to get our position back to top 5. We've been top 5, and we just let it away because look, United shouldn't lose that game. Honestly, we shouldn't lose that game. We should have been an 8-point difference between us and Manchester United. But then we lose to United, and somehow we have given away the liberty, the breathing space we had us and the teams in the lower parts of the table. But what I'm gonna say is, I trust my side. I trust Arteta. Everton are really performing poorly. We don't need excuses. Let's go there and pick up points. For me, that's it. Let's go there, pick up the points. I really do not care about what's gonna happen. I really do not care. Go there, pick up the points, whether it's a 1-0, whether it's a 2-0. I mean, later, maybe in the summer, we'll try to dive into our, striker problems. But at the moment, we've got to focus on, on getting back on winning ways, getting back on track, and also, looking forward to to a positive game. But on new signings, which is my focus on this video, Mikel Arteta on the January transfer window and things like that. He was asked about. I think it's the second press conference where he's been asked about new prospects and things like that. Come January, he said one, Arsenal might not be going for very, very big signings, but he said we will have to look around to see what is available in the market and to see whether we can add something, in the January transfer window. Now, for me, what I'm gonna say is, one, we don't need to look around. We really don't need to look around. It's a must that we go and get in a striker. It's a must. I don't know whether many people will agree with me, but for me, it's a must that we go and get in a striker in the summer. It's a must that we go and get in at least 2 players on loan. I don't care whether it's on loan or not, but we need to get at least 2 players on loan in January. If we do not have the budget, get these players on loan. It's the squad depth is gonna keep us out. Honestly, squad depth will keep us out. If we don't want to to be kept out by squad depth, then the only thing we have to do, go out there and be very, very, very keen. But look, again, I didn't expect much, from him in terms of who are we gonna sign and who are gonna be bringing. I didn't expect much, but one thing I expect is Arsenal will be active in January, right? Arsenal will be very, very active in January, and I'll be very, very, I'll be very disappointed if we are not. Honestly, I'll be very, very, disappointed if you're not active in January. Very, very disappointed. Peter says, "Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Peter. Hope you're doing well. Good afternoon, Cossy. Good afternoon to you, Anu. Hope you're doing well as well. Cossy, understand that short tree can't grow amongst tall trees, so Partey can't perform well, yet he's surrounded by genius. He can't play alone. Alone. Right, look, let's speak about Thomas Partey and the fact that he is playing alone, maybe. Is it true that Partey can't play well in this team? Maybe yes, maybe no, right? Maybe yes. Because again, if you look at the talent and the level of players that surrounded him at Atletico Madrid before joining Arsenal, they were really, really better, way better than our side. And I just still feel our crap with our midfield, with or without Thomas Partey, is still crap. It's still crap. I said, and that's what I said in the summer. Getting someone. I think Arsenal needed a serious ball progressing midfielder, or at least a serious CDM, or at least someone big, someone with experience. We needed such a player. We didn't get him, and that is not. That is on Edu and Mikel. Because if we got in a war on a bargain, it would have been a very, very different story. So maybe Partey is also failing to perform at the level he wants to perform because he's not getting that kind of service. He's not getting that kind of, confidence in the players around him. You can see the rest of the midfielders are really, really shaky. Very, very shaky. They're young. They need to get used to the ball. They need to start taking more risks. No one takes risks in that team apart from, for me, Saka and Partey again. No one takes more risks than them. Smith Rowe occasionally, yes, occasionally doesn't, do that. I think what we need to do is we need to bring in better midfielders, players that are going to perform at that level that we want Thomas Partey to be looking at. Lokonga, not yet there, right? Not yet there. Very talented, very good, not yet there, right? If you brought in a Ruben Neves, obviously Lokonga drops to the bench. If you brought in Wilfred Ndidi, Lokonga drops to the bench. If you brought in Hausa Mwa, again, Lokonga drops to the bench. And that shows you we still lack that individual that is really brilliant in the midfield. And maybe Arsenal, Arsenal might be looking at big names. For me, I don't think we lack a big name. I would love a Yuri Tillemans, but at the moment, you have to pay around 70 to 80 million euros for Yuri Tillemans. It's never going to happen. We know that. But maybe it's not the Yuri Telemans that we're looking for. Maybe we are looking for someone as simple as, I mean, Sunderbadge, maybe, right? Someone as simple as Sunderbadge, someone who can just link up, play better, and try to create as many chances as possible. And that's why I really wanted Awa in the summer, because I feel Awa has the ability to do that. Awa has the ability to give us that, to give us that, to perform at a high level. Anna says, I think Partey is missing the experience of other quality players like him. Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I'm absolutely spot on. I think Arteta is the best coach of the prevailing Arsenal project. Let's get trust in him. That's according to Ronald. Best manager in the prevailing Arsenal project. Look, I mean, if we put that in a broader sense, you could be right, you could be wrong, right? Because why you could be wrong, I still feel like if we have a manager like Ralf Rangnick, or look, I just need to look at these managers that can build something, and are able to win with it. Okay, or Angel Nagelsmann, because I really wanted Angel Nagelsmann. I thought we could get him. I thought, from Leipzig. But again, he went to Bayern. Or Ronald Koeman, the one from Barcelona, sacked. Yes, because managers get sacked all the time. But if we brought in someone like Ronald Koeman, I think he would implement something better, faster in these kids, because kids will be looking up to him. These players would be actually looking up to him. For me, I still believe the project we've gone for is good. The project we have gone for is right. You need to have those kind of players that are young, develop them together, form a good structure for the team. Liverpool have done it. City did it. Chelsea have done it, right? But look at the managers that have managed these kind of projects at Chelsea, at City, and at Liverpool. That is where I disagree. Mikel is right for the project because it demands less money. And look, he's a no experience manager, so he's not going to really put the boat on pressure. But if we were on Arsenal's side, they wanted to get back to that level very fast. You bring in a Ronald Koeman, or you bring in a Ralf Rangnick to build the structure, or you bring in Erik ten Hag, or anyone, or a manager of that stature. But because we didn't go for a manager of that stature, again, that speaks volumes of how the club is falling. Arteta might take us there, but how long is it going to take? And it's a bigger risk because we don't have any point of reference with Mikel. He's not managed anywhere. He's not won anything anywhere. He is just there. He's like, it's a blank sheet. He's a blank sheet. He either feels it, or if he fails to feel it, and that's my problem. If he fails to instill a style of play in this team, if he fails to do that, at the moment he's really, really trying to, but if he fails to do that, where do we go from there? That's the big question. Where do we go from there? But again, and that's why I would have preferred a manager like Ronald Koeman. He's had a philosophy. His philosophy is well tested. You bring him in, he builds the structure. Obviously, it's going to take time. And that's why it never worked out with Barcelona. Barcelona is absolutely rotten at the core, similar to Arsenal. But Arsenal what's gonna give him the time? If this time we've given to Mikel 2 years and a half, if you give that time to Ronald Koeman, we would be dreaming better. We would be asking more than 5th at the moment and 6th. Right now, if you're an Arsenal fan and you're asking for top 4, you know deep down in you, it's too much to ask. But if you had a manager like Rafa Benitez or a manager like Antonio Conte, we would be asking for top 4 because our manager can't, because he's done it before. And I think that's the difference. But again, I mean, let's give Mikel the time. You never know. We might get there. I believe Arsenal will bounce back. This is going to Anu. And I hope Arteta will start Kiantiani, drop Alba, and Lokonga should start as well. Thank you so much, Anu, there. And then, yes, thank you, Papa. I like your shows. Najib in Kampala. Thank you so much, Najib. Thank you so much. Ricky Mo says we will pick up points when Arteta is not playing Aubameyang and El Neni. Look, I don't know why he played El Neni in our last game. Honestly, I mean, there could be reasons. There could be. Don't get me wrong. There could be reasons. I know he has his reasons, but I'm still not yet convinced why he plays El Neni in that game. Not really convinced. Absolutely not convinced why he plays El Neni in that game. Looking around for what we need. Looking around for what we need. A good striker and a CDM. Look. I don't know what Partey really wants to do, because I said it in the summer. For us not to understand what we want, it's going to be on what we want to do with Thomas Partey or what Thomas Partey wants to do. If Partey wants to be a CDM, then we need to get in a central midfielder. If Partey wants to play as a box-to-box central midfielder and things like that, then you go and get in you go and get in a CDM. I still feel there's some that kind of confusion. There's a lot of confusion with what Partey wants to do. But in the end, look, trust me, you don't want to really get confused. Hit the like button, people. Thank you so much for tuning in as well. Looking around, looked at that. Stephen says, hello, Cossy. In my opinion, we shouldn't have lost the Man United game. He should have started Tierney due to his experience. We need Tierney back in the starting lineup. I said it. Tavares has had a good spell, good games, but for me, he's too adventurous, and it's really costing the team. It really cost us as a team against Liverpool, and it cost us against Manchester United. Actually, I think he made the wrong move. Instead of dropping Lokonga, he should have dropped Tierney, because the midfield level of Liverpool is way too above than that of Manchester United. What he did is he dropped Lokonga and kept Nuno Tavares. A huge mistake for me. Huge mistake. Shouldn't have done that. Really, shouldn't have done that. Happy to hear from you, bro. What will be the match we're taking on? We're taking on Everton. I'll be streaming my previews live now. I'll be streaming my previews live. And so we will have our preview at exactly 9 p.m. We should have 8 p.m. That should be the time. 8 p.m. We should be having our preview for the game today. So make sure you tune in for that. Arthur Melo is good. On that, and Edu can see that. Yeah. Look, we've been linked with Arthur. We've been linked with Arthur. He's a very, very good player, by the way. Very, very good player. Very huge talent, indeed. Very, very huge talent. He's one player that I would love to see on the ball more often. Fate has been quite unfair to him. Goes to Barcelona, things don't work out, and then he's swapped. In a Milarian Pjanic, Arthur Melo deal to Juve. He goes to Juve. I thought he would actually pick up. He doesn't. I still have hope in him. I don't know if Arsenal will make that serious. But of course, we'll be discussing transfers. Come January, and of course the whole of December we'll be discussing a lot of transfers. But I still feel like there should be an opportunity for Arsenal to get in a player like that, Arthur Melo. I don't know, a player like Santi Cazorla, a player like Samuel Nasri. However much we avoid reality, we need such a player, and I know Mikel knows that. What time is the match today? Really, guys, you don't know you don't know when we are playing. Obviously, it's Monday. It's a late kickoff. If you're in Africa, it's going to be 23 hours. Actually, I should say 23 hours if you're in Africa. But if you are in Europe, then it should be 21 hours, actually. If you're in Europe, 21 hours. In America, I don't know, probably 20 hours. Yeah, I think 20 hours. But East African Standard Time and African Standard Time, that game should be 23 hours. That is, that is 11 p.m., right? Yeah, 11 p.m. Right. And then I think Arteta should be given more time to build Arsenal again. Look, for me, I mean, many people think like that, but for me, if we get a new manager that can do the job better, I will take the new manager. I'm telling you, facts. Absolute facts. Cossy, if Coman flopped in Barca, what makes you think he can make it at Arsenal? But look at the Barcelona side. Look at the Barcelona side and look at the materials they gave him. They gave him Kun Aguero. They gave him Memphis Depay. They gave him a couple of friends, Garcia. Look, I think Ronald Koeman was not given a chance to build his own squad. At the moment, Barcelona is not that kind of team that we used to know, right? I mean, they have set the bar too high, and that's why we always feel like they are there up top, but they're not there. They're not there. Look at, I mean, they have actually. I think they have a younger squad than we have. They are depending on the likes of Gavi, Pedri, Ansu Fati. I mean, it's a long journey. Whether it's Xavi or whoever you take there, it's gonna be very, very long journey. So I feel like Ronald Koeman, why I think it would be a success at Arsenal, we would give him his own team. We would give him his own team. Every manager wants their own team. Look at what Arteta is doing to Arsenal. He's building his own team. He's dropping Tierney because Tierney is not part of the players he signed. But Tierney, we know, among the best 10 fullbacks in the Premier League, Tierney is there, right? And we know Tierney is better than Nuno Tavares, but look, I still feel like Koeman has got the experience to build the side. Honestly, smash the like button to grow this channel. Thank you so much. I know much appreciated to you, lad. We don't have time to waste. That's like in tracks. Alba is a little slow these days, and he missed and he can miss a lot. If our team can play the way they played against Manchester United, they do well tonight. But Alba must score. I'm one of those people who don't believe we had a very good game against Manchester United. I don't believe that. We need an attacking midfielder to take football to Alba, like Alexis used to do at his best time at Arsenal Football Club. Look, I don't believe we played well against Manchester United. Unless I'm wrong, but I don't feel like we played well in that game. Absolutely. I don't think we played well. Not really. But anyway, so, I mean, that is Mikel Arteta and his press conference. I'll see you in the preview. Cossy, it's time for Lacazette. Look, start Lacazette. Start Lacazette in this game. If I'm Mikel Arteta, I would start Lacazette. Honestly, I would start Lacazette. Right? I would start Lacazette. It's time for Lacazette. You're right. But I think the reason as to why he doesn't want to play Alexander Lacazette is one or two. I think he's afraid that if he plays Lacazette and Lacazette lives in the summer, it doesn't make sense. So he wants to play players that are going to be around the team. He wants to play players that are going to be, always available. And that's why he wants to pick up, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang all the time. So thanks, everybody, for watching in. Smash that like button, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.